5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire. The only thing we have to fear is fear.
Mile 18.
This is Endurance Nation.
95% of endurance athletes are wasting their time and money trying to solve race day problems with more training. And guess what? You're probably one of them. Here inside Endurance Nation, we've cracked the code on race day performance, and we're on a mission to make ordinary athletes into expert racers. Our revolutionary approach to race execution, the 4 keys, is only part of our ecosystem. Race execution is baked into our entire season trajectory, from homework that our athletes do, to key training sessions, to race day support, to debriefs, and content that actually supports you becoming a smarter and stronger athlete. If you're interested in upping your intellectual game and making sure that you're just as mentally tough as you are physically strong, go to endurancenation.us. You'll find resources on that page and an opportunity to sign up for our newsletter, including free courses that will teach you some of our frameworks and start you on the path to becoming a better athlete. If it's got a finish line, we're ready to help you get there. Find us at endurancenation.us.
5 seconds, athletes. Here we go.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, Coach Patrick here, back with another podcast, special out-season edition. Excited for a special guest who's going to keep us straight. Thankfully, Cammie cannot see all the Halloween candy and everything else that's indicated on the hot side of my screen. And for those of you who are tuning in, who are all about nutrition, this is your cue to start hiding all of the bad things that you're eating and drinking right now. Quickly, do it quickly. Cammie is an athlete, a friend, fortunate enough to say, a role model in many ways from her performances on the race course. And in her second life, and she's got many of them, she also helps endurance athletes with nutrition. She runs The Fueled Life, which has nutrition programs for athletes looking to go either DIY or a little custom help from Cammie. But she's been really intentional about her training and racing, which is why she's here today and why she's going to join us as a special guest for our out season. So we're super excited to have you. Cammie, how are you today?
I'm so good. And if you want to eat Halloween candy, it's okay. We start wherever you're at. So if you have a whole bucket of Halloween candy, we start there.
Aisle 7 seasonal candy aisle. Is that you're starting with me there? Amazing. Like when they say stay to the outside of the supermarket as your nutritional thing, I feel like the seasonal candy aisle is like the center, like the opposite of the outside of the supermarket.
I know. I literally just told my husband today, I have such a hard time with all the candy, but at the same time, I have children and I embrace it. And we all are at different levels and we all have things we're working on. So I'm like, everyone, I've just been passionate about this for so long. So I work on this continuously and it's always in the forefront of my mind. So I realize it's not always in the forefront of everyone else's mind, but it does come up for people, especially when we want to start racing and we want to look good, like in our kit, and we want to drop some weight so that we don't have to carry as much. Then it becomes right to the forefront, but we haven't done the work in the background, like the back work. So that's how we're going to do it now.
Exactly. That's part of what we're going to talk about. So, I think one of the reasons I'm excited to have you join us for the out season and come speak to us and to the members of the community is that it's just that, which is by the time people realize they have a problem with body composition, like legitimately, that they kind of have been having this conversation about their pants and not so comfortable anymore, or maybe those shoes aren't quite doing the thing for you the way they used to do the thing, at least back in August last year. But we haven't really had to come to terms with it. But when race day comes up, all of a sudden we're like, ooh, I could definitely use my kit. Like, first of all, I only wear that thing when I'm racing, and now I have to put it on, and this is shocking. Like, hopefully no one saw that. And also B, like you mentioned, if I picked a course like St. George out near you or Lake Placid near me, all of a sudden you're like, ooh, if you add 5 pounds to my time, that's really complicated. Like that gets a lot harder. So the winter is the best time to start thinking about nutrition, is how I feel about it. I think you feel the same way, right?
Yeah. I do. And I was just telling Patrick before we started recording, I was just telling him, like, it's like the best challenge because you get to work on nutrition right during all of the holidays, right when all the food, all the treats, all the desserts are out.
True.
And you get to be challenged. And hey, as triathletes, as endurance athletes, don't we sign up for the challenge? So this is
Yes.
just another challenge for you.
Yes. Yes. And it not as in, can you eat all of the pumpkin?
Oh, yes.
That is not, for those of you, someone in the community is going to be like, that's what we do here. No, no, no. I agree with you. Like, people think about what's their nutrition nemesis, right? It's like people at the office bring in donuts, or there's like Chex Mix everywhere, or just, carbohydrate, like unrequested carbohydrates are just lying all around me in my workplace. This is terrible, right? Or my boss has like a jar of Skittles or jelly beans, and I can't leave there without taking some. It's like a bad habit. And so you end up in this place where you're just fighting it because it's these day-to-day things. But you're right. It's really obvious. Like, that tree is covered in candy canes. Can't eat all the candy canes off the tree. Like, let's start with like something really easy. Like, this would be a public service warning. If candy canes are bad for you, be like, don't go near the tree. So I think we can
or just like have one candy cane and be like, hey, I'm good with one candy cane, and like enjoy it, like be happy that it's Christmas. But I was just reading something the other day, and they were saying when it becomes into a pleasure or an urge, we go and eat it, and we eat it like in solace, and it's so fleeting, it doesn't stay there. So like, even if we just eat it with everyone in like a normal situation and just enjoy that it's a candy cane time, we don't need to eat the whole 12. If there's a little 12 pack of candy canes, we just eat one. And yes, it's Christmas. And yes, it's Thanksgiving or whatever. Like, we can enjoy it. But I just think we overindulge, we overeat, we over all the things. And then we want to under it when we want to get into like racing, right? We want to under our weight really quick. And I'm like, this doesn't really happen, right? We can't go over with our food and then get to a time where we're like, now we got to lose it all. Because that our body likes to work. It likes consistency. It likes to just be like, I'll work with you if you work with me. And so we can't overwork it and then overwork it with food, and then want to lose the weight really, really fast, or look better, or race faster, any of those things.
Right. Absolutely. Totally. And also, we talk about inside the team, we use power quite a bit. So we talk about heart rate as a lagging indicator, right? If I start going harder now, my heart rate's not going to show up for like 90 seconds. And that's kind of the same way with your nutrition, where you eat bad for like a day and you're like, the next day you're like, well, I'm fine. So like, eat bad for like 3 days. You're like, I'm still good. Apparently I just burn all these carbohydrates, that 12 pack of candy canes they made just for me to eat by myself in my room. They're not having any effect on me. And then all of a sudden, 3 weeks later, you're like, what just happened to me? Why? Well, how did this get here? And it's like, oh, it's been happening a little bit every day. And you just weren't really paying attention. You kind of took your eye off the prize. And I think that's really the focus of our work, what it will be this winter together, which is just making sort of really smart, small, consistent choices about nutrition to keep people on track so they can be really awesome when they expect spring.
Yeah. I love the smart, small. It's just smart and small, and the consistent. When I say just, that does take effort and focus, but it doesn't need to be overwhelming. It's just outlining and just kind of bringing in, like, if we're really zoomed out, we just zoom in a little bit more and get that focus, so that we just nip and tuck a few different things, and figuratively and physically and figuratively speaking. Yes.
My lawyer is going to make me say that we don't actually perform surgery inside a nurse station, even if it's cosmetic. We may transform you, but it's a lot of your own work. And I am also not advocating
no cosmetic surgery. Just your own doing. Just your own doing.
Exactly. The slice and dice nutrition program, DIY laser nutrition program. No. So here's the story with the out season. So with the out season, for those of you who don't know, it's a 14-week program. We do a fair amount of intensity. It's the opposite of what most athletes do. Most athletes pack it in for the winter. They do a bunch of other fun stuff, which is still cool. We're okay with fun, even candy canes. But we do actual hard work and fast work, because it's hard to do that hard work and fast work in season, just like it's hard to lose weight when you're in season, because you've got lots of volume demands, and you need to fuel those demands. And just like us with training and racing, I can't do intervals and do my longest workouts ever at the same time. Something's got to give. And usually it's like my feet and my legs and my hips, or I'm just exhausted and I'm useless at work. So we take this 14 weeks and we turn it into an advantage. And one of the things I'm excited about from the nutrition standpoint is I think we get to do 2 pieces that are really important. Number one, you and I get to have a conversation, and hopefully maybe people inside Endurance Nation will listen to you more than they listen to me. Actually fueling your winter workouts is really important, right? Just because you're riding for under an hour doesn't mean you don't eat or drink. Like, our muscles, our body, they need fuel. Can you back me up on that one?
Yeah, I want to back you up on one thing that I didn't say previously, but the hydration, even during the workout, the hydration is so important. We need to rehydrate so we can keep going. But also in the wintertime, people don't hydrate as much because they don't think they're as hot. But then is what happens is a lot of times we overeat or we eat more because we forget that our body is thirsty. So even during that workout, that 1 hour to 1.5 hour or 45 minutes, whenever that is, we want to just stay with the consistency of the water so we don't get behind in our hydration. And then we're trying to overcompensate, or we're just not drinking a lot, and then we'll tend to eat more. So yes, that's for sure for the water. And then for the food, we want to fuel during that workout because like I said, that you were saying that lag time with the heart rate. Yes, we definitely lag time with the heart rate, but also we lag time with our food. So if you get to a place where you don't fuel, and even during those, we call them smaller workouts in endurance station, and other people, they call it like a normal workout, right? Like 45 minutes up to like an hour and a half, whatever. You still want to stay ahead of your nutrition, because when you get behind, then you're working on urges, you're working on cravings, you're not working from that place of your best interest. So that is why you want to stay fueled. Even in the out season, you want to stay fueled, because if we're trying to work on this body composition, we're trying to work on fueling our body, we want to be the ones leading out. We want to make the choices with our food. So you choose the food that's going to fuel you on your workout, and then you choose the food that's going to fuel you during the rest of the day, versus like you just get behind, and then it's just with goldfish on the counter, a slice of pizza that someone left in the box, a donut here, because we're so behind that we're ravishingly hungry. Our body needs that. And we don't want that. We're trying to be in charge during the winter with our food and our fuel and all that.
Agreed 100%. I really like how you put that, because I think having lived on the side of poor nutritional choices and then being driven by my cravings, my biggest weaknesses are in those windows when either I'm super preoccupied or whatever. Like, say it's a busy day, I've got my workout session, but then I've got to jump. Like this morning, did my run, but then had to get right in the car. Like my daughter's in the car waiting for me, like sweating me in a car.
I know that.
We could go to school, and I'm trying to be like, she's like, Dad, like, don't let people see you in, in that stupid shirt you're wearing for running. And so then I got like, zip home and get back. And then I'm like, oh, I've got only 15 minutes to my next call. I can quickly get in the shower, but then I'm on the call, which leads to another call. Pretty soon it's like 11:30. I haven't really had breakfast. I've had 2 coffees. It's all about the time that I've had. And then, so what do? I'm like, let me just get like a cracker or a something out of there.
Exactly.
And I've lost the initiative.
Yeah.
Because I'm only reduced to what can I get between Zoom meetings? Like, right, what can I reach from where I'm sitting right now to grab? Yeah. And guess what? It's not going to be healthy, because I just don't have like a produce stand located right here next to my laptop.
Okay, that would be so fun though if we had a produce stand in our office. Like, let me just pick a carrot.
Imagine that. I would just be like kiwi. I mean, I do have decorations. I've got
a pumpkin. Oh wait, that's a decoration. That won't work.
I've been known to eat the fake stuff. So okay. Yeah. So definitely on the fueling side, and I really appreciate the call out on the hydration, folks. Even if you're not doing the out season, so true. Like it's wild how dehydrated people are in the winter, and you don't really know it unless you're measuring it. If you're taking a look at, water retention, or if you're just paying attention to those values. But it's mind-boggling. When I tell people that I'll have, when I'm like doing the longer rides, especially on the weekend. I usually do 1 bottle an hour during the week, but the race day I'll do 2. But even on the weekends, I'll do 1.5, because you don't think about it in the first hour. But by the time you get past the first hour, you're dying. Like you've sweat out whatever you had, which is not very much. And now you're really in trouble. And you're like, I now have to cram all this fluid in for the next 30 minutes because I was behind. So I just think it's super, super important. Like I think in a lot of ways, kind of treating yourself like if you were like one of your kids, you just be like, are you drinking any water? It's like the 4th soda you've had, and hot chocolate. Like that's not drink some water. Like I feel like we have to treat our inner athletes the same way.
And a fun thing, like when we're trying to get hydration in, even during the winter, whatever, I love to use my workout time as like drink as much as you can here. Like this is the time to hydrate. I mean, hydrate for your workout and hydrate for the day. So all that water we can get in is, I mean, it's good for the system. It's good for our skin. Our skin's drying out in the winter. All the things like. I can't speak enough to water. And I mean, we'll just keep it at that. But water, we always talk about the food, but we forget to talk about the hydration. And I'm not talking about all those like energy drinks stuff. I'm talking about hydration in a like water sense, or whatever your fuel is, if you're going to, put fueling in your drink. But I'm talking about, let's get that liquid in. That's like your pure water,
So much better. Also, I mean, it's so funny because when I talk about, the reason why nutrition is so important for me as a coach in the winter is because when someone says, hey, it's week 3, Patrick, and my numbers are going down, like they're getting worse. And I'm like, I'm sleeping well, everything's good. And I'll say like, are you fueling during the workouts? And they're like, they look at me like I have 5 heads. Like, what are you talking about? They don't even remotely do it. And I think it's the same way. we start thinking about some of these choices for like hydration and so on. It's just baseline. If you're not feeling great, if you're not sleeping well, etc., like, are you drinking enough water? Like, odds are, if you ask how many cups of water have you had in the last day, it's going to be like one.
Yeah.
In case, like, simple change, like start with the simple things first. Don't make it so complicated.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, a good rule of thumb, which you should drink more, but it's like half your body weight in water. So whatever that looks like. And if you start it just drinking with your workout, you take it when you're driving, you're just going to be ahead of the game. Yeah. And yeah. And the same thing goes with fueling. If you can fuel, like you're giving your body that chance to like restore itself. You're giving your body the nutrition that it needs. And inside, like what I coach on, we actually stop eating at a certain time so your systems can go and reset, regenerate, renew, like take out the trash, it's autophagy, and take it all out. And then you restart the next day. And your systems, it is hard not to get sick in the winter times, but it's your best. I mean, you're taking control and you're doing the best you can to try to like not get sick. And when you're trying to work out really hard, I mean, we're not working out long, but you're still working out really hard. And so your body needs all those vitamins and minerals that's going to come that can be cultivated from food. So that's why I'm like, this is even more of an important time because we can get these habits set. We can cultivate and really get what our body needs inside for the out season, but it's only going to set us up for a good in season as well. So yeah.
That's right. It's just, we're just stacking dominoes and we're just going to run through the program. Right. Good. And the other piece, which we'll talk more about when we're inside the program, when you visit us, but is talking a little bit about body composition. Now, my body composition in the winter is my strategy mainly has been I race in October. So I race in October, peak fitness, peak body composition. And so I literally like wear my clothes and I'm like, oh, my belt is here. And I'm like, I just keep my belt here. And like, if that doesn't fit me anymore, I need to start paying attention because now my pants don't fit me the way they fit me in race chair. And it sounds ridiculous. Like I forget nutritional choices aside, but like, literally, it's the canary in the coal mine for me of I've now moved to another phase of my body. Like I've now moved to the you better start paying attention zone because your pants don't fit you anymore and something's changing for you.
That's your litmus test. Is your belt like the belt buckle?
Totally, the belt is the easiest thing that we have, like that I have to monitor. I don't like to get on for me, getting on the scale every day is a joke. It's like watching the stock market. It
goes up and down. It's fluctuating.
Especially as an athlete. Yeah, I'm hydrated, dehydrated. It's like I lost 7 pounds today. Amazing. Like it's ridiculous.
I know. So, when I want to be like, oh, I want to feel better like about my weight, then I'll go when I'm dehydrated. And I'm like, wait, why would I feel better? I'm about ready to pass out when I'm on the scale because I've lost so much
Exactly. It's so bad. It's so bad. But I think we can actually, like you were saying, get a little bit ahead in the wintertime.
Yes.
Smart choices and start kind of building some good habits. What are some like key takeaways for the audience that are like, what are 3 things that people can do in the winter to sort of get on the right path to like just sort of better nutritional practices?
Yeah. I mean, I'm always going to get on my high horse about this, but getting a diversity of your fruits and vegetables, so plant diversity. The reason why I'm going to say that for the very first thing is because we're going to get closer to the source. We're going to get the whole food in and we're going to get a lot further away from ultra processed. So when we're coming to the plant diversity, I mean, and I'm saying like, we'll put plant diversity. So we'll put fruits and vegetables. That's what I'm saying by plant diversity. And then we'll say lean meats and we'll say like healthy fats. We'll keep that all in the same category for the whole foods. Okay. And then we don't want to have that ultra processed food. I mean, we can have minimally processed, which is, I mean, that cooking things is minimally processed, but the ultra processed, like your Fritos and your, I don't know, Doritos and your Oreos and all that kind of stuff, that literally is doing nothing for your body besides giving you energy. And that's what I'm saying. Like in the in-season, sometimes people do that because they're so hungry and they'll just put it in because they need some calories. And that will give you calories. It just won't give you nutrients. So in the wintertime, when we can actually just say like, is the food I'm eating, I love it, but does it love me back? Meaning like, is it going to help my body? And that's what we're doing in this out season. We're really trying to get fitter faster. And if we're trying to get fitter faster, we're going to get fit with that food that we're putting in. It's going to only enhance and accelerate that we get fit at the same time. So yeah, like I would definitely say number 1, I would go whole food, which I would bring in as much plant diversity. And I'm not going to go off on this because we can talk about this when we're inside the team, but that gut microbiome is why I'm talking about plant diversity. You actually go in and feed all this. You have a bunch of bacteria inside you, but it actually, you want to feed that good gut microbiome. And that's going to actually help you flourish. and it's going to help you perform at your best. It's going to do all the work that your body should do if you put the good gut microbiome in. And when we're feeding it with like the ultra processed, it's feeding bacteria, but it's the bad.
Right.
And it's not going to work for us. It's going to give us inflammation. It's going to be ways for us to get sick. We're going to feel bloated. We're going to not be able to perform as well because we have a bad army versus a good army. Think of it like that. So that's the one. I will not carry away with that. But
Okay.
I would say that's the first thing I would suggest to do. And it doesn't even have to be complicated. I'm just saying, like, I love to go to Costco, and I am kind of weird, but I love to have like so much color in my cart. So like I'll get like the strawberries, and I'll get the oranges, and then I'll get like the pineapple. So that's 3 different colors. And then I'll get asparagus and green beans. But I'm just saying, like, spinach. I always keep spinach on tap so I can make a salad with it, put some meat on there. So that I like to just try to go color, right? If you're trying to get some diversity, just bring color in. That's the first one. And then the second one I would say is really like, I kind of alluded to this when we were talking, but is getting ahead of the game. Like, you be in charge of the food that you put in your body. And what you were kind of saying, this happens to all of us, but when we're not like planning our food and it gets away from us, then we're grabbing whatever we can. And it's like, I'll grab whatever I can. It's the quickest in the cupboard as I run out the door. Right. And that's just normal because our body has to eat. So it'll go super primal. It will go like very caveman, like it just grabs it because to stay alive, we need food. Right. But if we just have like a slight plan, if I'm not even saying go crazy with the plan, but if we know, like, I keep certain snacks in my car, like I keep pistachios and I keep like cutie oranges and things like that, where I know that's a great fuel for me. So I'm in my car a lot, and I'm as guilty as you are. Like, I'm like, crap, I've forgotten to eat, but I'm like, I already know I have stuff here. When I'm heading to the gym in the morning, I already know what drink I'm going to have. Like, I have all my stuff set out so I can make this like concoction, whatever. But I'm saying, if you just do a few small, smart things, you plan, I'm like, you're thinking from your prefrontal cortex, and you're doing thinking of your best self. A few things in place, a few breakfasts, a snack. Most of the time we plan out dinners if we have a family, but if you can get some of those staple pieces put in there and you're planning instead of you're chasing the day with food, I'm telling you, you're going to be so much more in control, and you're not going to have to like be like, I wish I just didn't eat that, but I was starving. I wish I didn't eat 5 pieces of pizza, but I was starving. You're like, I can have a salad and 1 piece of pizza because I knew I was going to bring a salad. And if there's a pizza at work, I'll have like my salad and then have a slice of pizza that I like, right? So I'm not saying take away everything that you love, but I'm saying you plan it, and plan in some of those office donuts that you want or whatever, but you already have, maybe you have like a chia pudding and a donut. You're not just having all the donuts because you didn't bring you something, right? You're still taking control. Is the second thing I would say. And the third thing, which I alluded to a little bit, but I would have a time where you actually start and stop your food. And when I'm coaching people, I always say, like, let's do 12 hours. Let's start at 7, finish at 7, right? Whatever. Or start at 8, finish at 8. I like to get to where I'm doing 14, but it gets a little hard when we're training and morning trainings and all that kind of stuff. But the bigger picture of the whole thing is like, give your body some time to not have food inside of it. Let that insulin come out of your body. And that's the autophagy I'm talking about, when it's taking out all the trash. And I feel like as an athlete, the way I can stay unsick and keep my maintenance weight. I mean, I did this when I was trying to lose weight. I was a little bit more aggressive with my hours. I'd go 14 or 16, but I'm not aggressive right now. I do like 12, 14 hours right now, and I just maintain it. But I think it keeps me healthy, and it keeps me like, my body's working the way I want to. My systems are working the way I want to. And I just let my body have time with no food in it. Like, it doesn't need to have food all the time. Sometimes we're eating till we go to bed at 10, and then we get up at 6 and we're eating at 6. And you're like, no one's guilty of this. But as athletes, we think we always have to be fueling. And I'm not saying don't fuel, just fuel be very intentional on the hours that you're fueling. And that's what I've seen myself do. Like, if I don't fuel, I'm dying during my workout, or I have to eat, and I'll be like, I got to do better. Like, it just is such a good reminder to me. It's a good signal to me. Like, you didn't fuel properly yesterday, and we need to be a lot more intentional today, what we're fueling, and giving yourself the calories, giving yourself the energy that you need for the next day. So it's a good reminder for me, like always, like kind of a check-in, like, oh yeah, you were off a little. So those are the 3 things I would say.
I love it. Thank you. Wow. Nailed it. Amazing. Which is why you're going to join us. I think also, like, I love the point you made about making sure people think about meal planning. And when I'm like, oh, I'll do this meal planning thing. And then there I am, like, shopping for 90 minutes. Then I'm like spending Sunday afternoon for like 2-3 hours, like preparing all these meals for the week, which may or may not get eaten depending on what actually happens in the week. Cause with young families, like, it's like, oh, guess what? We never made it home. Like, forget that we had food. We didn't even get there. Like, couldn't eat. Doesn't matter, So I love the idea of saying, how do you plan out like healthy, like I don't want to say bites, but I guess we're talking nutrition, but like smaller parts of your day that can be super healthy to be like, here, what are my options? Like, hey, what are my mid-morning snack options? I've got 4. Like choose from this list.
Yes, so good.
Right for afternoon, right? So you try to kind of mitigate some of that with small, smart things.
Like we're not going to be perfect, but me and my sister just did a podcast. I don't know, maybe yesterday or the week before, whenever we did, I can't. But we were talking about the in between moments. But even if you are fueling properly in those in between moments, it's like in the car and then that in between snack. We're pretty good at getting that breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean, we prioritize because it's kind of a staple. But those in between moments could be such a keen time. It could be such a instead of a negative and just grabbing emotional food, it could be a prime time to put some more nutrients in your body. If we just do those 4 snacks, like I have 4 snacks I choose from. Oh, and it's already really easy in my cupboard, or I keep some in my car or whatever. I just grab and go and make those grab and goes. And that could be simple, smart, and very consistent, and it can be very helpful.
Oh my God, I love it. Amazing. Okay. This is fantastic. I can't wait to have you inside. You're going to join us in middle October. Start of November. Why I say October.
Because it's October right now.
Everyone who's inside the out season will get it. Anyone else who wants to learn about the out season, for sure, go to endurancenation.us/out season. And Cami, where can they find you to find more about the Fueled Life and sort of connect with you about nutrition health?
Yeah, I just got to do a testimonial to you really quick. Okay, I've coached with Coach Patrick for a while. I've been on the podcast a while ago too, and I probably said this, so you could go back and find it in the archives, but I'm telling you, this out season changed me as an athlete. So I can't speak even, well, I'm trying to speak the best I can about it, but being intentional during these 14 weeks that you do, it literally it took me to my goals. It literally helped me reach the tip top of the goal that I wanted. And the 2 things I did was follow the out season. And I was really intentional. I'm like, whatever it says here, I'm not going to be perfect, but I'm going to do what it says. I'm going to take that recovery. And then I was also really intentional with my food. And it was totally a game changer. So anyone that's interested, I'm just telling you, from being actually a student or being a athlete under Coach Patrick, it's amazing. But where you can find me is Cami Banks Coaching. You can find me there. And I'm also inside Kelsey's Kitchen Snacks. So all the recipes that I do will come from there. And I post one every single week. So there's a recipe and the real how to make the recipes. And then we have a podcast called Fuel, Conversation in Kelsey's Kitchen. So we have lots of ways to fuel mentally and physically there. And you can do camibanks.com is my website as well. I think that covers it all.
Oh my God, there's so many options. Most people are like, I got one. I'm lucky if I have one.
Pick one and you're fine.
And look at the variety of options we can choose from, and we'll be happy no matter which one we choose.
Exactly.
Like a nutrition plan.
Exactly. Diversity.
Incredible. Well, Cami, thank you so much for joining for that super kind testimonial. I like to say that I just come up with ideas, but my athletes are the ones doing the work, yourself included. I'm grateful that you'll be joining us. I'm excited that we get to bring someone inside who's got a bit of an athlete's mindset and can offer some both practical and effective ways to think about our winter nutrition. So
awesome.
I'm looking forward to it.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see you guys inside. It's so fun. It's so fun to use food as something that we love instead of something that's kind of a nuisance. It's something that can be such a joy and such an asset. So I can't wait to share it all with you.
Totally. We get to kind of reframe the conversation in the winter and then carry that new mindset into the new year. Sounds like it's going to be fun. So, all right.
So fun.
Thanks so much, Cami.
Thank you.
Endurance Nation.
Hey, podcast fans. I know you love the podcast because here you are, you're listening to it and you're still listening to me talk right now. Did you know you can get content just like this in your inbox once a month? We send out a great newsletter. We call it, guess what? The Unfair Advantage. That's right. It's our information to you, something that separates you from the competition. If they're not here, then they don't know. But if you are here, then now you do. Zero excuses. If you go check us out online at endurancenation.us/newsletter, it's your opportunity to enter your email address, sign up for these updates. They come once a month, sometimes twice a month, depending on my race schedule. And it's your chance to get insider information that's going to help you become a better, smarter athlete. Don't miss out on this chance to get ahead of the competition. It doesn't cost you any money, and it's not a ton of work. It's just your email address. That's endurancenation.us/newsletter.
For more information about Endurance Nation, visit us online at endurancenation.us. The provided music is from the Podshow Podsafe Music Network. Check it out at music.podshow.com.